From the Oklahoma newsroom, it's time for the Energy FC Weekly Update. I'm Jenny Carlson here in studio. I've got two guests today, starting with the coach, Steve Cooke. Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Thanks for having me. Great.
And a guest, first time, I thought we'd have had you here by now, but Jose Barril joins us. Jose, good to have you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Maybe we'll have you back again soon if you keep up this torrid pace.
Hopefully.
We'll get to that in just a minute, but you guys just keep winning. Third match in a row, beat Rio Grande Valley, only their second loss of the season at home with a 4-2 win last weekend. Steve, we knew this was going to be a tough match because of how good they've been this season. What'd you like about what your guys did in that road match last weekend?
Yeah, they're a team that haven't conceded many goals at home and certainly have been in games throughout. They haven't lost many games, and for us to go there, I think, and be so attack-minded and so positive in how we went about the game, and not only to score 4 goals, but I think we created 4 other incredibly good chances. I think we could have really put the game away very, very early on, and credit to the guys, they did a great job. And Jose here with a couple more assists was terrific. And I think whenever the strikers are in great form like that and all sharing in the goals, it's a great feeling for everybody. And you know, credit to the players, they were very positive and did a great job. A
couple from Christian Voleski, Alex Dixon, and Adam John. And Alex earned Team of the Week, USL Team of the Week honors after you did last week. Jose, to have a variety of guys scoring goals, what's that meant for you guys as an offense?
Oh, I think it's unreal. You know, every pass going forward is almost a goal. You know, and that means like we click in and we're on fire.
You guys are 7-2-4 over that stretch of games. If you look even further, 8-4-5. I mean, this has been a really positive stretch for you guys. When you think about where you guys were before we started counting that impressive win total, what do you feel like has changed? Anything, Steve? When you look at those successful marks over the last, say, 6 weeks or so?
Yeah, I get asked this question all the time, you know, and I think a lot of people like to look backwards a little bit. I'm not one of those people. I like to look forwards. But I think the last 15, 16 games or so now, we've had great results. But the reality is, I don't think we've done too much different. The players have been training just as hard as they always did. They've stuck to the task as much as they always did. We've obviously added some new players who I think have not only added good quality to the group, but they've added competition, which I think is really important for everybody. And I always think that when players are happy and content and they're confident and goals and wins create confidence, then everyone's a little bit more likely to be successful. So like Jose just said, he gets the ball and suddenly there's 2 or 3 great attacking options for him to play the ball to. They feel confident because they're scoring goals, so then Jose plays it a little bit quicker and a little bit better. So I think everybody's feeding off each other right now, but you know, we're happy and we're pleased with where we are right now as a team and in form. But make no mistake, we still have a long way to go, and the coach in me keeps telling everybody to stay humble and stay focused on what the job is.
Jose, do you feel like much has changed? I mean, maybe it's small things when you think about the difference between early until this most recent stretch.
No, I'm with the coach. I think we're doing the same thing. I think it's part of the job. You know, when new coach, new players, everybody come to the new team. You know, it takes time. You know, but sometimes people don't understand, but. We're here, so
yeah, keep doing it. You know, during this 3-game winning streak you guys are on right now, 2 road wins, which there haven't been a ton of road streaks, I guess, winning for this franchise over the years. Jose, is there something about being on the road? You guys, I mean, is it maybe as comfortable as being at home? Do you guys feel good going on the road as a team?
I think it's part of the confidence. You know, I think right now we can fight with everybody and with anybody. I think every single game for us is a final, you know, to get to the playoffs. So you just keep going like that.
Well, we'll talk about playoff push in just a little bit. But Steve, we talked earlier about Christian Voleski, Alex Dixon. They scored very quickly, one after the other, in that game against Rio Grande Valley. 2 of the faster goals that you guys have had, and you had some quick ones before in some of these wins. Is there something, are you starting to see a trend in the way that you guys are able to get going and maybe even back up, you know, goals with more goals?
Earlier in the season, we were missing some chances and creating great chances, but they weren't going in for whatever reason. And what I asked the players to be at one point was just be ruthless and be, you know, when you have teams on the back foot, make sure you're positive and make sure you go forward and make sure you carry the group forwards. And I think testament to the players is that they've really taken that to heart at recent times and scored that first goal, but then not taking their foot off the gas, and they've gone for another one and got it. And I think it's important that they are positive and don't fear failure. You know, enjoy going forwards and enjoy going to goal, and if they miss, no problem, we'll get another chance a little bit later. So for me, it's a great sign that it means the players are positive and happy, and hopefully that means more goals coming this weekend.
Jose, is that ruthless mentality of, you know, sort of backing up goals with more goals, is that something that you feel like you can initiate with a lot of your passes and what you're doing to assist on so many of these goals?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the last couple of games we've been doing that. You know, you think coming to the game like hard, strong, score the first goal, and that send the tone in the game. You know, and that's that good for us.
Definitely. Well, you guys get back at it on Saturday night. It's a home match, so we talk about how good you guys have been on the road. Now you come back home, but that's been a good place for you too. 7:30 on Saturday as Seattle Sounders FC2 come to town. You guys played them earlier this year, early June. I mean, 2 months ago, Steve. It's been a while since that match, and a lot has changed. But that was a match that you guys played pretty well in up there.
Yeah, it's interesting because I thought that day was one of our best performances, certainly with the ball. We attacked very, very well, created numerous opportunities. It was at a time in the season where we weren't scoring too many, and I think the players felt that tension when they went forwards, and we didn't defend very well the last 10 minutes and so lost the game. And it's kind of amazing football because we've now switched roles where Seattle are struggling a little bit and we're doing quite well. So I think it's really important for us to realise that from that moment we've done really great things. We just don't want to be the start of a streak for Seattle to do well. So we've got to make sure we're really focused this weekend, very concentrated, work hard for each other no matter what happens, and really make certain that we keep this streak of ours going.
Jose, was that a game that you as a player and other players sort of look back on as, you know, one of those games that maybe was a turning point, that you saw how well you played and how close you were?
I think it was definitely a turning point. I think that was the game we definitely like, hey, we can do this, you know, everybody's in the same page, and let's, you know, it was, that's soccer, you know, sometimes happen, you know, you create all the chances in the world and you don't make it, and the other team with you, they win the game, you know, so, but yeah, definitely that was a turning point.
You know, we were talking about Alex Dixon and Christian Volesky earlier. Alex scored last weekend and allowed him to keep pace with Christian, and as far as the team lead, it was a third straight match. Alex had scored a goal. I wonder, are you hearing from those guys, Jose? Give me the ball. I want the ball. Are they starting to demand out there a little bit that they want to be set up?
No, to be honest, everybody wants the ball, you know. But sometimes it's on me too, you know. They making real runs, you know, and getting good positions for me to give them ball. So it's amazing play with these guys.
You know, it's always great to have good goal scorers, Steve. But when you got two that are scoring like those two are, how much of a challenge do you feel like that makes you to other teams to have two guys that are really getting after it like that?
It's huge, and I think we need more than two. I think we need players who, when they go forward for corner kicks and set pieces, are hungry to score. I think we need all three front players been hungry to score. Jose Barril needs to be hungry to score as well, and I hope he can do that this weekend and keep feeding the other guys. And I think it does breed. Everybody wants to do it, and everybody wants to get on that score sheet. There's no better feeling, and we've scored 10 in 3 games. But you know, we've got to be cognizant of the fact that we've got to keep this thing going, and we've got to be humble and make certain that we keep doing the right things. And luckily in the last 3 games they've gone in, and hopefully there's another 8 times this season we can do the same results.
It's hard to believe, but after this match on Saturday, you guys only have 1 home match remaining on your regular season schedule. So with that limited amount of time, we got to talk, you mentioned the P word earlier, Jose, playoffs. I mean, you guys have put yourself in position to really be in this conversation. What's that been like, Jose, to see where you guys are as it relates to postseason?
No, I mean, we're no critical situation, you know, because we're winning games and we're playing good, you know. But definitely, like, having 2 home games left is difficult, you know, because it's so much easier to play at home, you know, with your people, with your fans. But I think the team is ready to doing that on the road. So
yeah, is that? How do you work that into what you're telling your guys, Steve? Because you don't want to overlook games because you know you need to win, but there is that bigger goal. How does that get balanced out?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, we still have a quarter of the season to go, so
Yeah.
it balances itself out because we still have a long way to go. For me, obviously, I don't look forward so far, but I always make certain that we're planning and preparing. The biggest game for me is Seattle at home this weekend, and I think it's one that we have to make certain that we do everything we can to win, perform properly, work hard for each other and get the 3 points. But the reality is that on the road this season, I think we've played some of our best soccer. I think we've played some of our better attacking soccer with the ball on the road. I think we've created a lot of great chances on the road as well. So for me, if you ask me, am I happy going on the road? Yeah, the answer is I can't wait to get there and play no matter where. One of the greatest feelings I get in the game is a packed stadium away from home that goes quiet when you score and when you win the game. I think it's one of the greatest feelings there is, and hopefully we've got 6 opportunities this season to make sure that happens.
We've got Jose here, and we want to talk about this toward pace you're on, Jose, because 3 assists against Real Monarchs. You come right back against Rio Grande Valley, 2 more. You're the first player in franchise history to assist on 5 consecutive goals. I mean, that's never been done before. You're just 1 shy of the franchise high mark, so you're quickly closing in on a lot of really big numbers out there. Do you think of it in those terms, or is it one by one and you sort of lose sight of those bigger numbers that are out there?
No, I never think in that, you know. I just keep doing my thing. I think I'm doing the same thing I was doing in the beginning, you know, but lucky for me now, my teammates, they on fire too, you know, so it made more easy for me, you know, and sometimes you give passes, they don't score, so it's not assist, you know, so I'm happy for everybody, especially for me too, you know, but let's keep doing this. What
has it meant for Jose to have this streak, Steve? I mean, I know you don't go out and try to get streaks and that sort of thing, but still, to have him playing like he's playing and being a goal threat himself, do those 2 things play off each other?
I think it's both things, because I remember not long ago in San Antonio, Jose scoring a great goal. So then defenders have to honour the fact that he can score himself, which gives space for other players. And I think, you know, for every great scorer, there is a guy that's passed them the ball. And vice versa as well. And I think Jose is in fantastic form. I think all of the team in an attacking sense are doing really, really well right now. And I think, again, I really believe that it comes down to happiness and confidence and knowing that when you go out there you can stick your chest out and you know you're going to do really well that day. And I think that just keeps feeding it off each other. And like Jose said earlier, he can play to any one of the players on the field and we feel we could score every time we attack. And when players feel that hungry and that confident, I think it's a great thing, and that means this weekend we've got to do it all again.
Yeah, you're only as good as your last game, right?
That's exactly right.
But that being said, Jose, before we let y'all get out of here, let's backtrack a little bit on your road to being such a central figure to this team. This is your 2nd season here in Oklahoma City with Energy. You were with the Harrisburg City Islanders, which people may now know as Penn FC before, and before that, you have even more soccer in your background. Talk a little bit about the road. How did you get from Harrisburg to here, and you know, just making that change? Oh,
it was great being Harrisburg. I'm not gonna lie, great people, great team. But in that moment, I thought I need something bigger for me on my career, you know. And I got the opportunity to come to OKC, and I took it, you know. And I'm really proud, very happy at that decision, and I'm here.
Before you got transferred to Harrisburg in 2014, you were with the Real Madrid Academy, which obviously people that watch soccer know Real Madrid, from the time you were 7. So you were in that system for a really long time. The move to the United States, talk me through that. How much of a hard decision was that to decide you're moving across the ocean, you're changing up your soccer landscape so much?
No, it was hard. It was hard, especially first of all for the language. I came here knowing anything about English, but yeah, and soccer ways too. Yeah, I think it's a different soccer style back home and here, you know, and it takes me time, you know. But everybody right next to me, my family, teammates, it was with me 100%, you know, and I feel that confidence, that love for everybody, and it makes it more easy.
When you talk about your years in the academy, a long time in the Real Madrid Academy, I assume every part of your soccer is impacted by that experience, but what do you feel like you took most from that time that you spent in that academy?
Oh, I think my passion and my character from there. You know, I think they put you down your DNA, just win and fight and die on the field. You know, and I think one of the best thing I have on my game.
Steve, you obviously came to know Jose, you know, in recent years, but do you sense some of that experience he had in the Real Madrid Academy and who he is now?
No question. Yeah. Obviously, if you spend the amount of time in a club like Real Madrid as Jose did, you have incredible quality, not just in terms of with the ball, but without the ball as well. And as Jose just mentioned, that ability to work hard to win the ball back. I actually saw a stat the other day that Jose has one of the most tackles in the league, for example. So that passion not only to play well and create goals, but that passion to win the ball back so that our team have the ball more as well is something that's been, I think, really key in Jose's performances in the last 15 or 16 games. And I think when you're at a club like Real Madrid, you know what the highest levels of the game are. You know what the top level performers in the world go through every single day to be as great as they can. So every single day they wake up and do all the right things and work as hard as they possibly can on and off the field to be the great players that they are. Different people along the way have different talent levels and either drop out of a system. Jose was there, good enough to be there for a long time. And make no mistake, if you're at a club like Real Madrid from 7 years old and at 20-something you leave that club, you've already had a great background, start of a great career. But I'm obviously more interested in the next 10 years of Jose's career. I think he has a lot of good years in him left. So rather than me looking back on where Jose's come from, I'm more interested in where he's going to be when he's 35 years old, and hopefully he's still playing here in OKC.
I'm curious, Jose, with your family being back home, how do they keep abreast of what's going on here? I mean, like a 3-assist game and then 2 more. I mean, how do you keep them in the loop? Do they catch up on the internet a little bit?
I'm so lucky. My family is in love with me. I think they're watching every single game. They still up till like 5, 6 in the morning to watch my game. So it's so much for me, you know, so much love, so much confidence, and I play for them, you know.
So when the game's over, they know what's happened.
They know.
They're checking in to
know,
say,
yeah, we
okay.
got calls and for everybody in my family. So.
Wow, that's got to be cool to think that they're rearranging their sleep schedules, all sorts of schedules to stay up and watch games for you. That's awesome. Hey, one last thing. I know you've gotten really plugged in with the community here as well. The Sidekick program, which puts you as players in touch with special needs kids in our community. You've been really heavily involved in that. What's that program meant to you?
Oh, it means a lot. I think it teaches you something about the life what you don't know. You know, you think your life is perfect. You know, and you see this kind of people and it help you to see the little things on the life. You know, and it's great. It's been great for me. I'm not gonna lie. My sidekick from last year. She had good relationship with my family, my mom. She's sending packets with my mom.
Oh, wow.
So it's been great.
Yeah.
Unreal.
So you've had the family back home cheering you on and your sidekicks cheering you on, for sure. Steve, I have to think you've got a lot of guys from overseas, like Jose.
Yeah.
It has to be good to, have a guy that does have that family connection back home, but then to start to make some connections here as well.
Yeah, I think it's immense, and we have guys from all over the world, you know, as a lot of teams in soccer do, you know. Typically they've all got players from all over the world, but we certainly do. And you know, Jose doesn't know this, but I'm leaving the stadium, and nearly always he's on the phone to his dad back home, and I think it's a great thing to stay connected to your family. It's the most important thing in life, is your family, your friends, and having a good life away from soccer. And then for all these guys, you know, as I've said before, we've got a great locker room of good character people and really high level people more than soccer players. It's more important that they're better people than they are soccer players, and they give to the community. The Sidekicks program is one of those things where guys like Jose have not only been connected because it's the Sidekicks program, but they've been connected outside of that program as well, and brought a great deal of joy to different people's lives. And as Jose mentioned, I actually think we get the most from this, because we get some great life lessons, and it teaches us to stay humble and to enjoy a very good life that we know we have, but also to give back to people to make their lives a little bit better as well. And Jose has been a first-class participant in that.
to hear Steve talking about your phone calls. I hope you've got a good cell plan for all those phone calls back home.
I do.
All right, well, guys, Saturday night, 7:30, Taft Stadium. Seattle comes to town. It's one of the last 2 regular season games, so get on out there. And if you want more details about tickets, game times, all sorts of good insight to the Energy FC, energyfc.com is the way to go. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.